Islam Sheikh Dwayne Bay. I just got up maybe 40 minutes ago, and this clock is an hour fast because it time went up. But this is the time right now. Oops, this is the time right now. It's actually 7:32 a.m. And I just want to say Islam to you. How are you doing today? I hope so far. I don't know what time you got up, but Islam. So this is how I look. You know how I look when I wake up. Um, Drinking organic coffee. It's not mushroom, but what I do is I put my mushroom four sigmatic in and moringa powder. That's what I do until I purchase some more mushroom coffee and also some more herbs from more herbs. So anyway, how are you? And I'm well. I'm just I was sitting here thinking how I'm handling my spiritual healing, spiritual awakening, and one of the things or practices I would like to implement, but it's a little difficult because I'm a lot of times during the week I'm tired. So after I get off work, I'm like I just want to after going by Whole Foods to purchase dinner. Or if I need to, other places, Walgreens, or usually those are the two main places. Giant, I go by there to get a few things. Actually, like if I need bleach or something, if or feminine needs. But usually it's Whole Foods. And then on my way, there's a Walgreens, so I stop by there and get bleach sometimes, a lot of times, and other Vaseline. Vaseline, I usually don't want to wear Vaseline, but it's really good for a lubricant, especially if spiritually, if you're feeling irritation in certain places. So it's really good for that. Um, so um, um, I just want to say Islam to you. And let's see. Last night, let's see, night before last, yes. I just want to encourage you to continue to engage with me in my dreams, and I would like to encourage you to continue to be a part of to be aware of what I truly hope and want. But through the higher self, I pray in our room, which is our altar. I light a candle. But I have a place for my son Abbas Malik Bey and my family members that I'm working on. The whole room I consider is an altar. So I have a place for my family members that I pray for, my son Abbas Malik Bey. But for us, for me, you, and Imani, I light candles for us, and I pray, and I do a prayer, and then I also do a spiritual bath. I am honoring our meeting and our consummation of sacred mental growth, which spiritualists would say marriage. I'm honoring it. So, and not only that, but I'm also honoring one of the first thoughts that I had is that I knew your higher. Well, I said when I first I remember you asked me questions, and I'd be like, well, I would tell you, I would say, I know you, and it was just your higher self. And I keep saying this, Sheikh Dwayne Bay, because it was your agent. It's your higher self. that it was a seed of purity in you. Um, and it's not saying that you don't have a lower self, or I don't. Okay. I think with us as celestial beings, where the higher self is really, really strong and can shake mountains, the lower self can also do the same. And the lower self in that can destroy, Allah forbid, destroy us as celestial beings, Allah forbid, the lower self. So, because of the manifestations, because we are manifestors, and I'm realizing that we manifest naturally. And what I'm learning more and more about myself is, it's not saying that I can't manifest immediately, because I do, but there's certain attributes of myself that are awakening, but it's all connected to me through my higher self. So going back, so when we first consummated our vows in the sacred mental growth, I remember I kept saying, I knew you. So what I'm doing is honoring Sheikh Dawei Bafilbe, your higher self from when I knew you. Not just the consummation this lifetime, but honoring the higher self of when I knew you in ancient lifetimes, ancient times. And I don't know what happened, but what I do know, Sheikh Dwayne Bafilbe, is because sometimes I have thoughts. I used to have thoughts of, well, definitely the lower self separating us and choices. But what I know is there are unclean, unnatural spirits, and I keep saying this because I always leave room for doubt, not or error, because I try not to be too arrogant. I try, and you might think what I'm saying in reference to me being your wife, and when I'm washing myself and I don't know, I don't know how you think, but I just I always in order for me to stay in truth and allow truth, the spirits of truth, which is one of the attributes of our flag, to speak to me, for me to implement, I have to be humble. I have to be ready to hear truth manfully. Manfully. It's like it's so, even right now, I'm just hearing how I use the word man. Because man, I'm not using it as man, as the male. I'm using man as a being. I am celestial, and these spirits speak to us as men like no other. It's like reading the Bible, and all of a sudden, spirits, the words in the Bible starts to speak to you or me like no other. Or reading the Quran, and the Quran starts to speak to me like no other. The Holy Quran Circle 7, reading those words in the Holy Quran Circle 7, these books starts to speak to me as a man like no other. So I try to stay humble. I really do. I'm still working on it because I'm still learning how to make truth my friend. But the key is through the highest self. The highest self. So Sheikh Dwayne Bey. So I keep going back to, yes, I'm honoring our consummation this lifetime, but I'm also honoring truth of ancient times, of your higher self. When I light my candle or our candle, I light the candle for your highest self through ancient times. When I'm doing my spiritual shower, it's through our highest self, because through the highest self there's purity. And through the highest self with purity, everything comes together. The harmonies of life, the harmonies of the universe and earth. One moment. I just heard somebody bang something 1, 2, or like 2 times outside, and now I'm feeling a forced mental engagement. A lot of times, those that are Mongoloid, Spanish speaking, accents that are unclean, these are spirits. They're very filthy, unclean spirits. That as a spiritual woman, I can hear. Um, they they all around the room. Just I know what we're doing spiritually is affecting them, but they're filthy, they're unclean. They have always they're these are unclean, cursed spirits. Same with the African American Black Negro. These are unclean, cursed spirits that I can hear. Pale skin as well. They curse. They're filthy and unclean. So they try to engage to manipulate thoughts. So I know, and I'm not, I'm thankful and grateful that I'm able to see. Not that I'm experiencing such things, because why would I want to experience unless if it is for me to ascend to the next level and to cleanse something that I have not cleansed in the past. So I'm thankful to be going through this with my eyes open, and so in that manner, yes, but not condoling it and saying that it's always should be. No, I don't. I don't definitely think it's supposed to be this way. But Allah uses all. Allah used Pharaoh in Exodus. Islam. One moment. Before Allah killed them. So Allah used Pharaoh in Exodus, but it clearly states, this is what speaks to me. See, this is a form of me reading the Bible and the words in the Bible speaking to me, for I am man. It clearly states that the Lord Allah planned to kill Pharaoh. It clearly states that more through Exodus. Now, where it stops is when, what I remember is when Pharaoh was killed. So, but all the while, the Israelites were returning, having reclaiming fruition, faith and belief, or belief, faith and fruition, to return back to those ancient laws, to those laws of the Most High, the highest self. So this is that is what I just said is a example of how the words of the Bible speak to man like no other. Islam. So Islam Sheikh Dwayne Bey. So what I'm saying is, just want to say, don't stop. engaging. In a dream, I just said, yes, I felt a pull, but that is what that is my attention. That's what I want, and I don't know who knew this. I felt like there was someone else, just like it's like someone else already know, that's close to you, or more know, like know what's in my heart, or and so, but nonetheless, in my sheet Dwayne Baffle Bay, I just want to tell you it's through purity, and by me just staying on the alchemy of my higher self, telling you and telling myself through the higher self, I pray for us. I pray for our higher self through purity. It's freedom. I know there are unclean spirits that existed during the ancient times that was trying to destroy natural law. And so here we are in 2022, and there is a division of those who are outside of natural law, not only through paperwork, but through DNA and genes, because of scientists abusing knowledge, and some of the scientists have been used to create spirits that are unnatural, and not only that, but are outside of natural law, which is a frequency. Then they develop a rule of harm that does not include freedom, where they feed the energy of bondage over and over and over again. Over and over and over again. So what I'm saying, Sheikh Dwayne Baffle Bay, in ancient times, ancient time never was when man was not. There were unclean spirits planning for these days. So you have the continents separated, but at one time it was just one mass. And globally, what is happening of unclean spirits being outside of natural law is real, globally, not just here on this landmass. This is all over. And it's interesting because of how you can see it, because of the migration of spirits from one continent to the next for whatever reason, from one country to the next for whatever reason. But then here you have natural law, and you have beings that are upholding and have affirmed to uphold natural law, which includes freedom, purity, the highest self. So what I'm telling you, Sheikh Dwayne Baffle Bay, is that I knew you in times where your higher self was so pure. You have, so what I'm saying is, I know you said you go back You can, masterminds can trace and go back. Go back. I don't want to get that aside. Whatever. Okay, let me start over. Masterminds can go back. They can go back and they can see. What I'm asking you, Sheikh Dwayne Arrington-Bey, is to contemplate a shade of the unseen in your life. I am too, because that's the only way. I got to stay humble so I can always stay in truth. Contemplate, just think of a shade, a blockage in your life this lifetime to keep you from not seeing Islam. Okay, just think about it, possibly. The unseen Allah is great. The unseen, okay? The unseen Allah. So what I'm trying to say is, some things you think you already know. You have the books and so forth, and you have astrology, and it's like, okay, this is what I see, so forth. But then all of a sudden there's a twist, a change that astrologies, sorcerers, witches, they didn't see. But then they started to pick up on and say, okay, now, the unseen Allah is great. And I ask for you to contemplate a shade that you cannot see. Islam. That's all. And I am too. Islam. But I am happy, and I'm going to continue to honor, and please continue to engage like that. So in hopes that we are going to meet on a physical plane, not engage and this is just how it is going to be, because that's not what my thoughts are, and that is not what I deserve, and that's not in correlation to the highest self. That's not what you deserve. That is not what you deserve. That is not in correlation to the highest self. Okay? That's all if engage in knowing the intentions of the highest self of me, and the purity of me, and how I am attuning and trying to communicate to the highest self in the purity in you, so we can come together on the physical plane. I think all I can say, Sheikh Dwayne Arrington-Bey, unclean spirits saw us. These are my thoughts, have been for a while, years, ancient time. I think it's been seen. And they not the pale skin. These are melanated, unclean, filthy spirits. Witches, wizards. They saw us. And whatever happened, and they knew, just like they knew this day was going to come, where you have unnatural spirits all over the globe outside of natural law. And you have it seems to be very few in natural law. Islam. That's all. That's what my spirit's telling me, and has been telling me for years and years and years.